So I made a video yesterday asking what the hell was going on with Mortal Kombat 11. What the hell is NetherRealm doing with this game? I didn't say hell, but we're going to say hell because we're in the first 30 seconds of this video, and I don't want to get demonetized. But after making that video and criticizing Mortal Kombat 11 very heavily, like very heavily, constructive criticism, but still criticizing, I thought, maybe I should be fair about it. Let's make a video about the 3 changes that could actually save Mortal Kombat 11 and make this game fun. Make it a game that we could come back to the same way that we have with MK9 and MKX for the next, same amount of time, 5, 6 to 9, 10 years. So let's do that today. Let's do the 3 changes that will save this game. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tootin, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Today, like I said, we're going to be going over the 3 major changes that I think could actually save Mortal Kombat 11 and get the player base, not only the casual, but the pro player base back, and actually make this a fun fighting game for years to come. Do I think these changes will happen realistically? Probably not. Is it a dream? Yeah, I'd love to see these things happen and see Mortal Kombat 11 be brought up to the standards of Mortal Kombat. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the 3 changes. So while there are a number of changes that they would actually have to make this as good, in my opinion, as MKX, MK9, Injustice 2, and Injustice 1, there's countless changes that I don't have time to talk about, but I think one of the more major ones is the Fatal Blow. The Fatal Blow is one of the most backwards mechanics I've ever seen in a fighting game. The Fatal Blow, you get a super for losing. Okay, so I've been in multiple situations. I actually lost a tournament thanks to this. I was in a tournament situation. It was 2-2, I believe. 2-2 as far as the set goes. I had 2 games. He had 2 games. We needed 1 game. One of us had to win this game to win. It was the last game. Alright, so I'm doing very well. I have about 46, 44, 45% of my life left, and I have him down to Fatal Blow territory, as we call it. He has his Fatal Blow. Well, I get hit with 1 string. He has 1 meter. I don't even know if he had meter because he tried to wake up, and I actually blocked it. He had 1 meter, or less, and hit me. He was playing a Scarlet, hit me with a forward 4-3 into a Fatal Blow. And boom. Thanks to him losing his health, not having the meter that he would have needed in any other fighting game for a super, but thanks to him losing the round, thanks to him being in the spot of losing the match, being dangerously low on health, he got something that let him win, because he hit me with a forward 4-3 into a Fatal Blow and won the tournament. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that is extremely frustrating. Now, I know it's a nice crutch for casual players, but fighting games aren't supposed to be built for casual players. They've always been like a 3D chess match for me, and we'll get further into that. And chess is not easy, as most of you know. Fighting games were always interesting to me because of the learning curve and the difficulty that came with them. It's not for everybody, but for the people that were actually interested in it and chose to dive further into it, it's a genre of game that you could play for years, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to be, every game that comes out. You could play one for years. There are still people playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to this day. And Fatal Blow kind of takes all of the fun of that away, and I know why they did it, because supers have just been looked at as waste of meter in MKX, MK9, Injustice 1, Injustice 2. We've always viewed it as, if you have that amount of meter, you're better off using it on a full combo instead of, a super. And I think they went the route, well, how do we incorporate that into the actual gameplay to where, it's not a waste and it's just another ability that they have, lose your health. That I feel like it's a good idea in some sense. Make a super useful, make it to where people are using supers more, where they're actually, a good use of your time to actually create them, but giving them to people who are losing rounds, giving them to people who are losing the match is not a good idea. I feel like Fatal Blow could be tweaked to where you just automatically get your Fatal Blow at the 2nd round. After you've lost a round, you get your Fatal Blow. Now, whether you use it at the very start of the round or near the end of the round when you're low on health, that doesn't really matter to me. But once you lose a round, sort of in the same sense of Injustice, where you get to that 2nd health bar, then you get your Clash. I feel like Fatal Blow would make a lot more sense and be a lot more balanced from getting it from, the start of the round that you lost. Fatal Blow would still be there, you still have it, but you wouldn't get it, while you're losing a match and have that comeback factor. Comeback factors are always nice. They exist in Injustice 2. They exist in most fighting games, comeback mechanics, but Mortal Kombat goes a little bit too far with those. But moving on, something with that, and why you could never reconfigure the Fatal Blow to the meter is the regenerating meter. Now, this is one of my biggest irks with Mortal Kombat 11 is the regenerating meter, because it goes along with that 3D chess. How fighting games have always been like 3D chess to me, like more violent punching people chess. There's always been so much to manage. Not only were you managing what you wanted to do next, you were having to think about your opponent and their next 3 moves, what was going through their head, what are they doing at this point in time, what are they thinking about doing, what character are they playing, and what's that playstyle, and what has been their playstyle throughout the match. You also have to think about how much meter they have, how much meter you have, and how you're going to manage that meter. Do you want to go for a no meter combo? Do you want to spend one of your meters? Do you have 2 meters to spend? If you have 2 meters, will that kill? Is that worth spending the meter on? When it came to meter, there was always so much to think about. Managing your meter and building that meter, doing the correct whatever for that character to build your meter in the right way, whether it was zoning, whether it was completely rushing someone down, whether it was hitting those combos and building those meters, whether it was blocking and building that meter, whether it was just putting people in endless pressure and building that meter. You were always having to worry about your meter because you needed that meter to land extended combos. It made sense. It was something you had to manage, and it was fun to manage no matter how difficult it was, because it never felt unfair managing your meter. If you used it right, if you weren't wasting it on bullshit, if you were managing your meter, you always had meter, unless you were that person who, got your ass beat, got your super, and then just blew it, which there are a lot of people like that. To me, and I think to a lot of other people, that has been one of the weirdest changes of Mortal Kombat 11, the regenerating meter. I think we could all get behind the idea of Fatal Blow and how they changed Breakaway, which we'll talk about in a minute, the flawless block, everything else, even crushing blows for Mortal Kombat 11. But the regenerating meter has been the one that's had me scratching my head since I saw it. Like, what was the point in changing that? Yeah, the defensive meter is an okay idea, and you could even use that, the way Injustice 2, Injustice has 4 meters, you could even incorporate that into Mortal Kombat with 2 defensive meters that you have to build up by doing defensive actions, and 2 offensive meters you have to build up by doing offensive actions. That makes sense to me. Offensive actions would be used on combo extending, and etc., meter burning your moves, and defensive meter would be used on wake up. That makes a lot of sense. That's actually an interesting idea, but having it regenerate and not having to manage that whatsoever really takes away from the whole idea behind meter and the skill behind actually managing anything and being able to do those extended combos and win those games thanks to your skill and combo structure. Regenerating meter kind of takes that all away, and I just gave you the fix for it. Just have defensive and offensive meter and just make it to where it doesn't regenerate. You have to do offensive moves to build it, and you have to do defensive moves to build the defensive meter. That makes a lot of sense to me, and I feel like that would also just add so much more depth to the game right there. And then the last thing, I kind of lied when I said the regenerating meter is like one of the most puzzling things. Breakaway is also another extremely puzzling thing. Like, why would you do that when it comes to a fighting game? See, how combo breakers have always worked in a fighting game. There are different kinds of combo breakers all throughout fighting games. You go to Killer Instinct and there's combo breakers, and then there's combo breakers to where you could break someone trying to break a combo breaker. You could break someone's combo breaker and continue your combo. Like, Killer Instinct's a fucking unique game. But Mortal Kombat and Injustice, it's always been kind of the same. In Injustice, we've had the Clash. In Mortal Kombat, we've had the Combo Breaker. You use 2 meters. In Injustice, you get like a cinematic thing, and you get the spin meter. You can get health back or take health away from the opponent. That's interesting. That's a unique idea, and I like it. But in Mortal Kombat X, I'll give the example here. In Mortal Kombat X, you're getting comboed. You have to have 2 meters to be able to break away from this combo, so it goes back to managing that meter. Are you in a situation where you can spend that meter, or do you need to be worrying about the opponent hitting you with a combo and saving that meter so you can break away? Or so you can, combo breaker from it. In Mortal Kombat X, it wasn't even the fact that, you were at advantage after breaking a combo. You both were set back to neutral, and the opponent who was hitting you, you the player who got hit, were not rewarded. You had to spend 2 meter, you lost your stamina, and it was reset back to neutral. So by all means, the opponent still has the advantage because they have the stamina to run up on your ass, and you don't have anything that you can do. You can walk, you can block, or you can zone. To be simple about it, in most fighting games, every time you combo break or clash or whatever else, if you're the one having to combo break or clash, you're usually the one that ends up at a disadvantage. In Injustice 2 and Injustice 1, I think so long as you had the right amount of meter, which if you were getting beat most of the time, you probably could be a little bit lower on meter and the opponent could be doing a little bit better, but most of the time you end up at a disadvantage. That is not how it works in Mortal Kombat 11. There are a lot, if not most of the characters on this game that have very little combo variety, and most of these characters have a major gap in their main combo for a breakaway. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean the situation that you probably seen yourself in multiple times playing online or against friends. You hit someone with a combo, you're doing really well, they break away. Okay, they broke away, they're on the ground. Well, wait a second, your combo's not over, you're still going, you're still hitting armor. Oh shit, they just got up and landed a full combo punish on me. And I was punished because I opened them up. They got rewarded for getting hit, getting knocked down, and they actually opened me up 10 times easier than I was able to open them up because Mortal Kombat 11 is a very defensive game. It's not a mix-heavy game. You have to actually work to open people up. It's more set in footsies and neutral and controlling space and actually hitting block strings, confusing your opponent, I guess. It's hard to explain when it comes to MK11. It's like, I know how to open people up, but it's hard to explain. Basically, shimmies and stuff like that. I played Johnny Cage a lot. But you open that person up, and they were able to open you up 10 times easier because they broke away from your combo at the right time, got armor, and was able to get up and actually beat the shit out of you and land a full combo for that. I've seen people lose games like this. I've seen people lose sets like this. I've seen people lose tournaments like this. And it makes no damn sense to me. Breakaway is not balanced whatsoever. It's probably one of the weirdest mechanics I've ever seen in a fighting game, and it puts the person who actually made a mistake in advantage, and that just baffles me. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some characters on this game who do not have this problem. There are some characters on the game that do not have major gaps in their strings and their combos and will not get punished for landing a combo if someone breaks away. They'll be able to block in time, but even then, most of the time you're coming off of whiffs or you're hitting their armor while they're on the ground getting up. So even then, because of their breakaway, you've used up your turn basically, and there's still an advantage because then it goes back to being their turn. So even though you're not getting punished with some of those characters, you're still put at a disadvantage, whereas the person who made the mistake is put at the advantage, and that makes no sense at all to me. The only thing I could suggest to actually fixing this is taking away the armor from it and making it to where you actually had to read or understand every combo that you could break out of, and that's going to take some practice, and that goes back with that learning curve and difficulty of fighting games, to where you actually had to lab other people's combos where to break away, because if you didn't break away at the right time, maybe speed the breakaway up a little bit like the animation, but take away that armor and put you in a spot to where it's still like, oh shit, am I actually going to be able to make it out of this, or am I going to get hit back into the combo? Because I still want that to be a possibility if you do it wrong. Take away that armor and make it a lot more scary for the person who's doing it, to where maybe they could still be at advantage if they got up at the right time, if they did it at the right time, but if they don't do it just right, they're going to get hit right back into the combo. And I do have a small bonus for you guys, and that is flawless block. There's not a lot of people who actually, even though this is a very basic game to play and learn, there's still not a lot of people who actually get good enough at it to learn how to flawless block. Once you get the basics and even the advanced mechanics down for the flawless blocking, you're able to do it consistently, you slowly start to realize how broken the mechanic actually is. Nobody really realizes this unless they're at a higher level, but flawless block, you can literally take away people's turns. You can do a move that's just barely safe with some characters. The character that I remember the most is Katana for some reason. Katana can do a certain string to where she's safe, she's not plus, she's not unsafe, she can't get hit, but she has just enough time with the frames to be able to block at just the right time, to flawless block the opponent for taking their turn and actually punish them for taking their turn, which again makes no damn sense to me. I don't even know how to fix that besides taking flawless block out or completely adjusting the frame data for every character in the game to where no character can actually do that, but taking someone's turn away when it's their turn, when they've done nothing to warrant it not being their turn because you did a string that didn't actually have the effect that you wanted and did not open up your opponent and did not do anything, that's ridiculous to me. Taking someone's turn away when they've done nothing wrong. That'd be like, again, coming back to, violent chess. That would be like me moving my piece on the checkerboard, then getting up and slapping the shit out of the opponent, and then moving another piece. That makes no sense to me. But anyway, those are my 3 changes for Mortal Kombat 11 that I actually feel like it could make it such a good game. There'll still be a lot of other problems with the game, hitboxes, this, that, and the other. There will be a lot of problems that still need to get ironed out over time, but I feel like these 3/4 with that bonus, big changes, could completely change the game around. I wish they would have happened from the start, but even if they happened right now, tomorrow, it would change the game in such a way to where it would pretty much feel like an entirely different game. And I can honestly say, just with these 4 changes, just with those 3 changes alone, I could see myself coming back to Mortal Kombat 11 for another 700 hours, as I have like over 700 hours on the game. I could see myself coming back for another 700 hours, more than that. I could see myself playing this game every day, the way I did MKX and Injustice 2. I could see myself playing this game 5 to 10 years down the line, because it does have a unique, slower design behind it. A slow fighting game is not always a bad fighting game. People love Street Fighter for that reason. It's a slower, more methodical fighting game, but it usually makes sense. And Mortal Kombat 11 does not make sense in the current state that it's in. And I'd love to see it get to the point where it actually did make a lot of sense and was a lot of fun to play, because again, I could see myself coming back to the slower, more methodical Mortal Kombat for years to come, when I needed a break from that fast-paced horseshit action that usually is Mortal Kombat. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I bet this is a longer video. When I start talking about fighting game mechanics and balance and everything else, I usually run on for a long time, so this might be a 20-minute video at this point. I don't really know, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you make it to the end, give me an Ayo in the comments down below, and also let me know with that Ayo what changes you would like to see made for MK11. What would you change to make it a better fighting game? I know a lot of people would say more DLC, and I know a lot of people are going to say, make more combos available, combo variety, the way we had in MKX. There were a lot of combos for a lot of characters in MKX, to the point where I put many, many hours on that game, and I could still go back to one of my favorite characters and find a new way to do a new combo, or a way to improve one of my old combos. It's something great about Mortal Kombat X that hasn't really been recreated in Mortal Kombat, or even Injustice since, so I know a lot of people are going to say that, and I agree, but let me know yours in the comments down below if it's something I missed. And again, that's going to do it for me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave it a like, and if you want to see more Mortal Kombat videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But I've been your host, my name is Tootin, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.